Welcome to another edition of Gossip in the Garden. I'm here with the legendary Laurie Kirwan. He's laughing at the minute, but we all know it's true. He's a singer, songwriter, guitarist, and author. He just came out with a new book. This is the book, Rockin' in the Bronx. Is this your second book? Or third book?
It's the fourth, I think.
This is the fourth book?
Yeah, it's the second novel.
Second novel.
One memoir and a book of plays.
Where do you get the time?
I don't sleep that much, as you can tell by looking at me.
Me too. Look at the two of us. If the people didn't know better, they'd think we're zombies.
Well, Dominic, we're not getting any better looking. You better hurry up with this.
We're beautiful looking people. I've known Laurie for since I came to America. Laurie has been one of the true musician gentlemen on the scene. I've opened up for Laurie, and I remember the first time that I asked Laurie, could I open up for him, and he says, don't ask me to open if you can open up. He says, but I'll put you on the slot if I can, and he did many's the time. And he is, as I say, legendary. He started off playing music in the Bronx. I believe when Black 47 started, it was 89, was it?
Yeah, Black 47 started in November '89. But I actually used to, when I came here in the 70s, I used to play up in the Bronx with a guy called Pierce Turner. We had a duo called Turner and Kirwan of Wexford. And we played basically down in the village and around the country in coffee houses. But when we would run out of money, we would head up to the Kingsbridge area of the Bronx, places like Dirty Nelly's and the Archway and the Covered Wagon, I think it was. And then that group became a band called Major Thinkers, and we got a big record deal. We were on the road with Cindy Lauper and people like that for years, until 1985, and we got dropped at a record company, and I chucked in the music business altogether and went and became a playwright for about 4 years.
Wow. And
then in '89, I met a guy called Chris Byrne, who's a New York City policeman, and I met him in a place called Paddy Riley's, and the band he was in, Beyond the Pale, was breaking up that night. And we got to drinking and talking, and as we do, drinking a lot of whiskey. And by the end of the night, we decided to do the dates that Beyond the Pale still had. And
history was made.
History was made. We were Black 47 the next week and playing in the Bronx to the surprise of all the people who came to see Beyond the Pale.
Yeah.
Who were more of a folksy, beautiful band, but more folksy, whereas Chris and I were basically still getting it together. I was playing electric guitar and singing and programming a drum machine, and Chris was playing the uilleann pipes and baron and whistles. So it was pretty wild, because right from the start we decided we would just do original music.
Right.
In the Bronx of those days, you did 4 sets. 1 hour sets. Yeah. So it was a tall order to come up with all that original music, but over the course of the year we did it. So it was a constant battle up there. Yeah. Because people came to see, the Bronx was full of people.
The Fields of Athenry was the #1 requested song, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, they also wanted, Christy Moore and the Pogues and the Waterboys. That was the music that was popular. And we wouldn't play them. Right. We said, you come to see Black 47.
This is what we
Black
do.
47. And they said, we didn't come to see Black 47. We just happened to be here.
We came to drink and see what the music was, and to pay the Pogues.
Not listen to you bastards. But we got better as we went along, and then we got songs on the radio, and the humor changed towards us.
Who was the first person to give you your break? Was it was one of the first people the manager of the Pogues? Is that correct or not?
Yeah, that's right. And that happened because one of the guys who worked with the Pogues had been our sound man when I was in the band The Major Thinkers, a Scottish guy, Frank Gallagher.
Right.
And he was with Hammy, the drummer from Black 47. I think Hammy was even in the band. And I always remember it was New Year's Eve, 1989. They came to see me. And Chris and I had already recorded 4 songs that day, or just a few days before it. So we were only playing 2 months, but we had already recorded 4 songs in the studio. So that shows the way we were thinking.
Right.
And they happened to walk in to see me, and I was making dubs of the songs. And Frank Gallagher was just over, and he was going back to rejoin the Pogues, and he said, "Give me those tapes," and I'll play them to McGowan and to Frank Murray, who was the manager. And a week later, I got a call from Frank Murray. He said, "You know, guess what? I just happen to be forming a record company, and I'll sign you guys first." And I was thinking, wow, I can't believe this 2 months into playing, we're getting signed up. But as things happen...
A musician's dream.
It was a musician's dream, and they took us over to play. So within a year or so, we were on stage with the Pogues in London for their big Christmas show, and getting booed before we even came on. Yeah. But we were so used to the tough nights in the Bronx that, you know, I'm thinking,
well, this is nothing.
English guy's booing me. So what I do was I went to the, I was crazy though. I turned up the guitar, the amp to 10. I turned up all my pedals and effects, distortion to 10, and I hit a big E chord, and I went to the whole place. I almost deafened the whole place. And I said, now we're going to play, and we're like, ah.
It was sort of like extend right hand, extend middle finger.
That's it, yeah. But from playing in the Bronx, we become so tough from it that, you know, I didn't even think I could have deafened the whole place.
Yeah.
But I was, just pissed that we haven't even played a note yet in their bonus. I was thinking, at least give us 2 minutes.
Yeah. Thank God they did.
Yeah. And but then that record deal fell through, actually, because unfortunately Frank Murray's daughter got involved in a swimming accident in Greece, and he had to kind of get out of the business for a while. She got paralyzed. It was just, these things can happen in life.
Yeah.
But then when we came back here, we had made a single of the song Funky Kaylee, and a girl we knew gave it to Vince Scelsa, who was on WNEW, I think, at the time, and he started to play it, and people started to listen to it, saying, "What is that song?" And we were doing a residency, and Paddy Riley's doing Wednesdays and Saturdays, and within a couple of months, the place was just jammed totally. And
I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from then on, we got a record deal with EMI, and kept going.
Here we are.
There we are. Yeah.
Still going.
20 years later.